Okay, we're going to solve these by factoring, and I'm going to try to use all three methods. First, I'm going to use the Xbox method. So to start, we need to put this in standard form by subtracting 4 from both sides. So I end up with 6b squared minus 5b minus 4 equals 0. So they need to multiply to b, we multiply a and c, negative 24, and they need to add to be negative 5. One's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. So we think of factors of 24. That would equal negative 5 when added together. So we have 12 and 2, 6 and 4, 24 and 1, 8 and 3. That's it. Positive 3, negative 5. I'm sorry, negative 8, positive 3. So now we're going to do the X box. So in the box, we did the X, now we're doing the box. In the box, this goes here, this goes here. We're going to separate the two things that we just found, putting a B with them and putting them in the corners. So negative 8B and 3B. What do these two have in common? They have a 2B in common. How do I get from 2B to 6B squared multiplied by 3B? How do I get from 2b to negative 8b multiplied by negative 4? 3b to 3b is times 1, and negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. The outside ones are our answers, so 2b minus 1 and 3b minus 4. We're not done because we are solving. If it has an equal sign, we have to solve for the variable. So setting those both equal to 0, add 1 to both sides, and then divide by 2. 1/2 is one of our answers. Add 4 to both sides, and then divide by 3. So 4/3 is our other answer. Okay, on this one, it needs to multiply to be 24 and add to be negative 10. These are both going to be negative. Thinking of factors of 24, 6 and 4. Multiplied would be positive 24 and added would be negative 10. I keep writing the wrong thing, but there we go. Make the box. This one goes here, 8q squared. This one goes here, 3. Putting a q with each of them and putting them in the corners. So negative 4q and negative 6q. What do these two have in common? They have a 4q. How do I get from here to here? I multiply by 2q. How do I get from here to here? Multiply by negative 1. How do I get from here to here? Times negative 3. And negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. So our outside ones are the answer, but we need to solve for the variable. So 2q minus 1 equals 0, and 4q minus 3 equals 0. So add 1 to both sides and divide by 2. 1/2 over here. Add 3 to both sides and divide by 4. So 4/3. Okay, this time we're going to use that quick method where we end up dividing. But first thing we need to do is put it into standard form, from greatest to least on the exponent. So we're going to have to subtract both sides by 29g. So we get 10g squared minus 29g plus 10 equals 0. So we still need to figure out what we need to multiply by to get 100. So we need to multiply to get 100, and we need to add to get negative 29. These are both going to be negative. Negative 25 and negative 4. That works. So I'm going to act like this 10 isn't here and just write it as y minus 25 and y minus 4, like we would if this was just a 1 here. But now I need to divide the numbers by that 10. I'm going to simplify if possible. So here it's going to simplify to 5/2, and here it's going to simplify to 2/5. The denominator goes with the variable, so 2y minus 5 and 5y minus 2. We are solving, so we have to set those both equal to 0 and find out what y equals. So on this one, we would add 5 to both sides and divide by 2. So y equals 5/2. Add 2 to both sides and divide by 5, y equals 2/5. If you put those both back in, they should come out even on both sides. Okay, for this one, we need to be in standard form first. So we're going to add 7y and add 2. They have to multiply to be 12 and add to be 7. So 3 and 4, and this is all plus. So I'm going to write this as if that 6 wasn't there. Y plus 3 and y plus 4. Now I divide the numbers by 6 and simplify if possible. So this one simplifies to 1/2 and this one simplifies to 2/3. The denominator goes with the variable, so 2y plus 1 and 3y plus 2. Now we're solving, so set them equal to 0. Subtract 1 from both sides and divide by 2, negative 1/2. Subtract 2 from both sides and divide by 3, negative 2/3. Okay, I'll just do one of this way where it's kind of a grouping method. We need to get the y over here. So 12y squared plus y minus 1 equals 0. It's going to be a plus and a minus. It needs to multiply to be negative 12, and it needs to add to be 1. So it's going to be positive 4 and negative 3. So I'm going to rewrite this. This stays the same and this stays the same, and this one I'm going to break up into what we just found here. So 12y squared plus 4y minus 3y minus 1 and equals 0. We'll worry about that after, but this is the factoring part. So now I'm going to put these together into things they have in common, and I'm just going to leave them the way they are. So 12y squared plus 4y and negative 3y minus 1. I'm going to take out what they have in common. Factor. What factor? So I can take out a 4y, and I'm left with 3y plus 1. Over here, I want it to be 3y plus 1 in here, so I'm going to take out a negative 1, because then I'm left with 3y plus 1. We want these to be the same. Now that they're the same, that's one of our factors, 3y plus 1, and the other one is the one on the outside, 4y minus 1. We are, remember, solving them, so set them both equal to 0, subtract 1 from both sides, and divide by 3, add 1 to both sides, and divide by 4, and that's that method.